afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture, just to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. Listen, I watched Nappa over at my Connect's house and forgot my tripod, so I thought I was going to be ingenious and tape on my phone. I did that, however, my hand was not steady. It was shaky, and what was happening is, as I was trying to edit it, I was getting a little ill. I guess the motion of me just moving was making me a little ill. So I will do just a really recap. I'm going to leave my tripod over there, so when I take it over there this evening, so we won't have these type of problems, these little extra movement problems. So I apologize for that. Baby, it was a whole lot of. So let's just start off. Last episode, we left with Christian finding Bridget's bag. And Bridget's bag was full of, because I thought it was cocaine. It was full of the poison that kills plants. He called the name of it. I don't know what it was. But apparently you inject it into the roots with a drill. So you drill a hole and you pour the powder in, and that's what kills the plant. So he has told August. And August, she's always the same. She doesn't act. She just gets all upset, and then she wants to wait. And he tells August. Now, let me also go over this. While August was asleep in her home, somebody came through the window. He was dressed in black, looked over her, and then decided to put all these bugs and stuff in her house. So someone was in her house. She didn't know it at the time. So we get back and we see Rose, who is Dana's wife, has prepared this beautiful spread for Dana. Just beautiful. Because apparently they have made up from when she voted against him at the winery. They have made up. Beautiful spread, but she's wanting to have a baby. That's what she's wanting. She is wanting to have a baby. He is hesitant because of his dwarfism, and he doesn't want to pass it along to his child. But she's ready to have a baby, and she's ready to do IVF to have this baby. So that's the path that they're on. Grace, you remember, she's the one that's making the dessert wine for August. She's showing him, she's showing August that because Christian didn't pick the grapes and put them up and do what they needed to do with those grapes at night. They've sat in the sun and now they're rotten. And she says, you've lost about 15% of your yield. And so she says, if this keeps up, you're not going to have no dessert wine. So again, that's August always procrastinating and waiting. August, excuse me, she went to Bridget. Grace told her that you need to get Bridget back here. You need Bridget. So August is like, you don't know what's going on with my family. She says, well, you're not going to have no dessert wine and your family's going to go under because you can't continue that no one out here who knows how to work the grapes. So August goes to her mom. Vanessa seems like and tells her what's going on. Vanessa seems like she's gotten much better. Her, the grief is not taking her over. So they go to Bridget's house. Now, let's pan over to Bridget. Bridget is telling her mom and her Aunt Yvette that they can't, well, she didn't tell them this. Well, she did, but we didn't see her tell them. But she basically told them, y'all cannot stay here. Y'all are cramping my style. I cannot do what I need to do because you all are here. And so the mom goes to a hotel. Yvette's got a plan to get back into the home, get back into, to the King of Nappa home. So she goes over to Vanessa, Yvette does, to ask to come back. And so Vanessa was very flippant about, well, you can come back if you can get this distribution deal that we need. And so, honey, she went on and worked on that man, child. Because they were saying we were never able to get this man to We are never able to get this man to do the distribution deal. Child, that man was just old school. He didn't like all that hoity-toity stuff y'all was talking. And Yvette was speaking his language, honey. She was speaking his lingo verbally and non-verbally, if you know what I mean. And Yvette got that doggone deal. So, Yvette got to go back into the house. Meanwhile, August is still over here entertaining this lawyer, which to me seems like a bad deal. But I'm going to keep my eye on him. So I'm going to keep my good eye on him because something about him, because he was just working with Melanie's, he was just Melanie's lawyer, and now he's not her lawyer anymore. And I'm trying to figure out, when did that happen? When did these little deals like this happen? Because there was a contract in place that August was supposed to be abiding by in regards to paying the money back. Anyway, who are we gonna follow? We're gonna follow Christian, because Christian is just ready to confront somebody and get it over with. And everybody's like, no, we gotta wait. We gotta get the PI to talk to him. And he's like, well, no, let me go back. They had to wait till Otis woke up because they needed to figure out what was Otis doing. But yeah, poor little Otis, he was just, Reginald had promised to help him start up a wine, winery or small one that sold inexpensive wine to the peoples. And so basically what Otis was doing was stealing grapes. He was stealing grapes, and then he was stealing enough to make like a little small batch so that he could sell the wine in the old neighborhood and stuff like that. Just make it so to be like an inexpensive wine. That's what Otis was doing, and he thought that they had caught on to what he was doing, but Otis wasn't blackmailing nobody. He was just stealing little grapes. So Otis is at the picture. So the PI figured out that Otis was doing something, but he was not sabotaging the grapes. He wasn't being the blackmailer. So Otis had a little side hustle. That's why he had the little stuff that he had, because he was, he had a little side hustle. So Otis is out the picture, because really and truly, they didn't come see you, Otis. That is forever a classic line from the Temptations, child. Oh, anyway. See, I like the name because my father was named Otis, and honey, me and my brother would say stuff like that when he would say something, and it'd be all being fun, and he didn't know where that line came from. He like, what? He would get so flustered, he didn't know what we were talking about. Until the day we all sat down and watched the Temptations, and then he understood. Because we were like, yeah, because, ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, I'll tell that story later. It's funnier than what I'm emoting. So, anyway. Cha. So, now we just, instead of just, Christian, Christian is talking to August, and then he told Dana. And so now Dana knows, because August didn't want Dana to know. So now all three of them know. And Dana is like, listen, we got to do something. We got to find out who's doing it. We can't just sit back and think that somebody's not doing something. We were wrong with Otis. We don't want to be wrong about Bridget, because he let everybody know that he thinks that it's Bridget that's poisoning the vines. So they do just that. The attorney bugs her place. He gets some information. They get some information, but I'll talk about it a little later. But what happened is, August is telling, what's his name? The lawyer. Pretty much what they're doing step by step. In my opinion, the people who she need to be talking to, she never talks to. The people who I think she don't need to talk to, she's talking to. I am not saying that lawyer is crooked, but what I'm saying is that his loyalties, he's in it for a selfish reason. He wants August, But I don't think his divorce and I don't think all that stuff that he's talking about is going the way he says it's going. And August is, she's selfish. So she's going to move in that direction that feels good to her. And stuff that don't feel good to her, she's going to move it over here. But let's go back. Now that I said that. You remember I was talking about earlier that Vanessa told Bridget that she wanted her back in the fold, right? So they went to this wine convention in New York. And Bridget is a little hesitant and everything, but they started getting along and getting back to who they were. And Vanessa apologized. She said, I should have never taken out on you my anger that I was angry with your mom. And she was telling her, you need to watch out for your mom. And she said, because your mom calls and puts things into place that, is detrimental to the family. She does this all the time. So Bridget doesn't know what she's talking about. Bridget doesn't know what Vanessa is talking about. She says, well, I got some place I want to show you. She takes Bridget to a psychiatric care home. You go into the psychiatric care home, there is this old woman there. So the old woman sees Vanessa and she's just like, oh my goodness, you've gained a little weight. We need to get you to lose a little weight, but because you're so pretty, da 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 da. So then Bridget walks up and she looks over at Bridget and she tells her, you need to get out of here. You're the reason why I'm in this mess. Da 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 da. Just going off. So Bridget doesn't know who she is. She says, who is this woman? Why? Who's it? Find out that's Vanessa and Melanie's mama. Here's the backstory. She's in a psychiatric home. Here's the backstory, child. Apparently, Melanie used to be hot in the puss back in the day. And she used to be, wild and doing what she wanted to do and everything like that. Now, I will tell you, that's real contrary to the story that Melanie was speaking to Vanessa about. Y'all remember, was it last episode? She was telling Vanessa, you were the prettier one. You were and I was the fat one, and this is stuff like that. But not to say that her weight can cause her not to be hot in the puss, but it's interesting how, from different points of view, how the story goes. Okay. But anyway, child. Vanessa tells Bridget that, because Melanie was, she loved the fast life. She loved to do all the stuff that she was sending their parents through a tizzy, and particularly their father. He would be worried and try to talk to her and stuff like that. So one particular night, Melanie went out and the father caught her and was chastising her, telling her, you can't be doing this. You cannot do all this, just warning to death. And apparently he had a brain aneurysm. The brain aneurysm, poop, and he died on the spot. That sent Vanessa and Melanie's mama over the edge. She had a nervous breakdown. And so she's been in this psychiatric care unit since then. And so I guess Melanie feels bad, like she caused her father's brain aneurysm. And Vanessa feels like the same. That Melanie's waywardness and their worry about her was causing all of these issues. Now, I don't know if all that is to be true, but again, perspectives. So now Bridget was like, wait a minute, we was always told that grandma didn't want to be a grandma, and she didn't want to be around, all of this stuff. And they found out, no, she says, Vanessa was saying, families have secrets. And that was the secret that they told them. Now, which is interesting because August suffers from panic attacks. Now, I'm not saying that the two are correlated, but I do believe in muscle memory, and I do believe that you can pass things down. You can have through your DNA if you've had a lot of trauma. How you respond to that can be passed down to your children. Now, that to me, I know that's a big word to say that you pass trauma through your DNA to your children. I think the response to the trauma, how you do that, but that's just partly environmental, and I think partly genetic. I think it is. I don't have any scientific backing to do that, but I do know that if you don't deal with the trauma that you're having and get assistance and get help, physical help for your physical body, and also get help for your emotional and mental part of your body. If you neglect one of the three, the way you respond to it is what you're going to pass down to your children. So, for instance, if you were in, let's say, a car crash and part of the car exploded, right? You get out, you're burned, they treat your burns, but they don't treat, you don't have anybody treating the trauma of literally sitting in a car. First of all, the car tumbling. Second of all, the car catching on fire. You're in the car. You get assistance to get out of the car. You get assistance to help you with the burns and things like that. But you don't get the emotional trauma, and you don't get the mental trauma assisted to. So if someone tells you, girl, just forget about it. It's over with. Praise God. You are alive, and that's what you need to be focusing on. Your PTSD is going to come up. Post-traumatic stress disorder, because you're stressed. You can sit here just as calm as I am and talk to somebody, but you're stressed. Your whole stress level is up. So when you hear a loud bang, boom, that reminds you of that car catching on fire, you're going to be tripping, right? Your whole fight and flight response is going to enact. If you smell a certain smell that reminds you of burning flesh, or if you smell a certain smell that reminds you of metal parts, twisted metal, all those different things, you're going to have that response. If you have a child, your child is going to recognize that you're upset. They may not understand why. So you all could be walking across the street. You hear a loud noise. You all hear a loud noise. It doesn't register to your child. What registers to your child is as you're walking, you see a dog. That child sees a dog, right? Loud noise hit. You go and you start running. Your child registers the fear. But instead of you understanding that the fear is coming from the loud noise, your child is looking at a dog and says, oh, we're scared of dogs. So now your child is having this unrational feel of dog. So every time your child sees a dog, she sees that makes her parent fear, because you are her parent, and this is who your child trusts. When she sees that makes you fearful, now your child is afraid of dogs, and it just keeps going and it just keeps going. And you don't understand as that child where this fear is coming from. And it's not coming basically from the dog. The dog is the visual cue that you see when all of this stuff goes on. It's a whole lot. We're not going to get all into that. But August suffers from panic attacks. And that's important to me. I wonder how, I know Dana knows, because Dana and Christian were calming her down. So they know that she suffers from panic attacks. Here's to be the most interesting part. So we talked about Yvette. We got the revelation that grandma exists. So here's how all this comes together. We find out that it was Bridget all along. It was Bridget. All along. Now they threw it at us. However, let's just go back what was going on. You remember that Bridget went to go work for Sean and Sean. Sorry about that, y'all. You went to go, we realized that Bridget went to go work for Sean and Sean, and the grapes were poisoned. Well, somewhere in this whole fiasco with her getting her mom put out and all this other stuff, and her going to New York with Vanessa and finding out about her grandmother, we see that Bridget gets a telephone call from a white guy. Now, it's not the white guy that we saw running the The young white guy that we saw running the restaurant, who I think it is. However, he was on the phone and he was like, I see you quit Sean and Sean. You weren't supposed to do that. We were supposed to do this. She says, I've got it all under control. She says, I'm back over at Key House of Kings. And he was like, well, you need to take, she says, don't worry about it. I got everything. I am going to take care of everything. So, and I'm going to do this. So Bridget she is the blackmailer, because listen to this. Bridget knew that Reginald was her father all along as well. She has known for some time now. And because she has known for some time, this is the part of the blackmail. Do you think this is a long con game between Melanie, Brittany, and whoever this white guy is? Because you remember how Melanie put it in Vanessa's head that Reginald was very, very afraid of the blackmailer. And you found money and passports and all this other stuff. You think it's a long con? Interesting. But anyway, needless to say, they find, well, let me back up. August finds, so this is just a little minor plot stuff. August finds those, the bugs in her home, the surveillance bugs. And she finds out that it looks exactly like the ones that she sent the PI to. She finds out that Dana had bugged her home and stuff like that. And he says, well, you were trying to get rid of me as CFO. And she was like, yeah, I was trying to find somebody that was suitable so that you can come and help me be a co-director. But now I see that that's not possible because you don't trust me and I don't trust you. I was trying for us to get out of this so we can run this company as a family and run it together. So, baby, that is pretty much all that we have found on this show of that episode. So what do y'all think about this, that Bridget is the blackmailer? Oh, significantly enough, Bridget wanted to go dancing. So Dana's wife was like, sure, we can go dancing. Now, here's what's significant about that I think I neglected to talk about last episode because I couldn't understand why it was important for them to interject that. But now I see why it was important to interject that. You know that Dana's wife is bisexual. And I think that Bridget is as well. Well, anyway, the longest of the stories of short. You know, Rose was Rose was confiding into Bridget that her and Dana were going to have a baby, and she was wanting to have a baby with Dana and all of this stuff. And Bridget was like, you should stay here. She was just kind of coming on to her. She gave her a big old kiss. But what Bridget nor Rose realized is that the house was bugged. And Dana saw it all, honey. And he's upset. But she pulled away. She just, she did, the kiss. She allowed her to Bridget to lean into that kiss. But she pulled away because she wants to have a baby. She wants to be with her husband. She doesn't want to entertain that. I am quite sure that Dana knows that his wife is bisexual and she can be tempted, but we gonna see what's gonna happen on this next week, child. Because the due date for the blackmailer is coming up soon. So I don't know what's gonna happen because they done pulled all this information out so quickly in the show. I hope it doesn't crash and burn, or do they have some other type of plot that they want to get to, and this was just something that was in the way. Because this could have lasted us the whole season. We didn't have to find out by the 5th episode that Bridget was a thing. Because we didn't have any big clues to point to her other than the bag full of poison. So, we gonna see, child. Because she was trying to get her job back. So, I'm going to stick beside it because, like I said, I want to know who this white man is. I want to know if he's related to the white guy that runs the restaurant. And what's the motivation for Bridget? Was she mad that Reginald was her father? Was Reginald going to kick her out? What? I need to know what the motivation is. Y'all let me know if y'all can figure this out for me. Tell me what you think about our little show that could. Honey, we trying to figure this out. We got this our new show and we gonna stick beside it. But we just trying to figure out, are all these plot points coming up too quick? And throwing us off for something larger that's looming on the way. Y'all let me know. Please put the thumbs up button. Please give me a comment. Just let me know that you're here. Just say, hey, Pam, how you doing, girl? You can tell me what you think about this show. If there's some plots or anything that's going on, put it down there in the comment section. And subscribe. The little subscribe button is right down here. It don't cost you a thing. Thank you so much for my subscribers. I really do appreciate you, and I hope that the content that you're getting is appeasing to you. If there's something else that you want to see, let me know. Just put it down here in the comments. Or you can email me at PamEntertainmentTV at gmail.com. I'll try to remember to put the little crawl down here. You can email me a show. New show alert. We're going to be reviewing The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on Peacock, y'all. I got Peacock. It's a new iteration of it. It's not them going back over it as a comedy. It's basically like a drama. So, because the concept of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is good for a comedy, and it seems like it's going to be good for a drama. So we're going to watch that. That's going to be one of our new shows that we're going to be watching on the week. So, like I said, King of Nappa, we're going to stick beside it, child. We are going to stick beside this show. And I'm still figuring out the movies. I am going to watch Harlem Nights. That's going to be our, because I've never seen it. And then I'm going to rewatch a movie that I have seen before. So I haven't figured out the rewatch movie yet, but I'll let you know. And all of this is going to happen. Ooh, child. Let's see. So look out for those things. So this is the second week in February. So it's going to be one movie is going to be watched next week, and the last movie is going to be watched the last full week of Black History Month, y'all. All right. Y'all know I see that y'all are watching. More than my subscribers are watching. Come join the family. Just hit that subscribe button. It's right down here. It's right down here. Just hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have your comments. We'd love to have your opinions, child. Because if you comment, I'm going to comment back. And we can have a nice little back and forth if you'd like. I'm also working on a couple of other things for hopefully, but this is something that I want to work on once my subscribers reach over 100, is to do possibly a live show. I think that would be fun because you can watch me in the moment. We will get together live and watch a show together. And baby, we will have a good time. Yes, we will. Some other things in the work, but thank you so much for watching. Thank you all so much for subscribing. Thank you all so much for giving me information about content that you'd like to watch. And just thank y'all. This has been well, I'll do it in another episode. But as always, see you next time, and bye-bye.